Oh, snap, crackle, and pop. All right, you guys. So check this out, right? So I am finally back. I know it's been a while. I wasn't trying to be inconsistent. It just I've had a lot of stuff going on, so I really just didn't have the means to make a video. Man, because one, I never really just had any time to myself to actually sit down and make a video. People always doing stuff. With everything that's been going on, I just really couldn't get to it in the first place. But I'm back, and I want to start it off with a pretty good bang. So, with that pretty good bang being said, like I said, spoiler warnings all around, okay? For those that haven't really ever seen or anything with Bleach, and those that, of course, aren't caught up in the manga for Black Clover. So, with that being said, I'm starting off with Black Clover's Nozel Silver versus Bleach's Byakuya Kushiki. Now, the Byakuya who is going to be facing him is not the current Byakuya who went up to the Fullbringer to the Quincy, to the War Arc in Bleach. This is strictly the Byakuya that we've seen up until the Wako Mundo arc, where at the end of it, like I said, he kind of floated off to fight against Yami with Kenpachi. So, with that being said, like, so just so people don't, go too far. So we're going to be talking about Byakuya Kushi. Now, the problem, or a little bit of a problem, he doesn't really have that many fights up until he reaches off, so he really only has 2 fights, in all honesty. But when those 2 fights, we do get to see certain things, such as his Shikai, Zenbon Zakura, which is basically when it's just a basic Shikai. All he does is, like I said, once he unsheaths it and activates his Zenbon Zakura, the blade itself transforms into hundreds and thousands of little flower petals that he can use to attack his opponents with range and stuff, and even use it, like I said, however he wishes, whatever he needs to do with it. It's not, like I said, it's not really that impressive. In fact, he rarely uses his Shikai unless the opponent is just that weak. And then, of course, for his major opponent, the one that we major seen everyone loves, is the Zenbon Zakura Kageyoshi, his Bankai. And I'm sorry if I'm messing up the word. I mean, in Japanese, I'm English. Let it go. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what it means to be an American. But with Zenbon Zakura Kageyoshi, it kind of gives him hundreds of millions of blades that all can be used as defense and offense. Like I said, he can also increase his speed and durability and anything that he needs to do with it by moving his hands, though oftentimes at least it's shown that it's almost like he kind of reacts and moves just by like his mindscape. On top of which, he also has different variations when he uses this Bankai, such as I honestly can never really remember the name of this technique. And even when I was doing research for it, like I couldn't, reading the manga going over again, it's like I still couldn't fully remember it. But bottom line is basically he traps his opponents in a cage full of, all of the blades that he can make up, that as he said, Ichigo doesn't attack them all at once, but he can draw them forth individually. And of course, we have the final fight after he fights Ichigo, for their final class together, the Shukai Hakuteiken. Like I said, I'm sorry for butchering, which basically, like I said, it looks visually stunning, by the way. But it allows for Byakuya to basically increase his overall power and speed, and it's basically just what he does. He only used it really once in the entire series against Ichigo, for whatever reason. But bottom line is, it's like the final stage of Bankai that he can use to deliver a devastating blow to his opponent. But he's only used it once, but we do know that when he does use it, it gives him a significant boost in power. The same Byakuya, like I said, when it comes to speed, faced off against his most notable opponent being, of course, Ichigo, who in the guidebook says that he moves at the speed of lightning, at least with the image that it shows, even though during that same fight, he blatantly says, yeah, I can go even faster than this, and attempts to fight Byakuya, who Byakuya, like I said, using his Bankai. At first, he kind of laughed it off and couldn't really, didn't think he was that fast. Once he realized that Ichigo can move even faster, he, of course, started moving his hands to keep up and even trap that same Ichigo at this point. Now, at the same time, his second opponent that he faced was the Espada number 7. Yet again, can't really say the name more. Who he blatantly says he has the fastest Sonido out of all of the Espadas. Now, just like with anything else, the Espadas have the Sonido while the Soul Reapers have flash steps. Now, with this, like I said, he literally moves so fast and adds an extra step that it causes what he considers to be doppelgangers that can go all the way up to the rank of 15. Or not saying rank of 15, but he can create up to 5. I'm sorry, I was thinking of something else. But he creates 5 of these to the point that even Byakuya, who got caught off guard by this, actually had to resort to using techniques that he was taught by Yoruichi to actually escape it. So keep that in mind, like I said, because I will be coming back to that later. When it comes to really like kind of analyzing these people, I am off my game. He also is a master of Keto, as stated. That's kind of something that the Kuchiki family is known for. Their mastery of Keto. So he has stuff such as the Rikucho Cordial. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Bottom line, that's a paralysis spell. All of the Ketos that you saw Kisuke using, I'm not even going to try and even come close to pronouncing any of that, 'cause I'm just going to butcher it. But he can use all of those. And of course, one of his favorites, the Hana number 4, the Byakuya, which is basically just shooting Reishi lightning at people. He used it against Ichigo in his first fight to basically, after stabbing him in the foot, which is kind of petty. But that's it for Byakuya. Now, when it comes to Nozel Silva, I can go a lot more in depth with Nozel just because, like I said, I may be using Waco Mundo for Byakuya to put a cap on him, while Nozel, on the other hand, can go all the way up to the series. But even still, Nozel really only has one good showing of feats, but you can actually, he's a lot more easier to power scale, such as by using 3 main characters: Fuegoleon, his cousin and rival, and other cousin, Mereoleona, Vermilion, and of course, the main opponent that he really faces off against, Patri. Now, I'm going to talk about Patri first and then move on later. But Patri, when he first makes his debut, of course, he faces off against Julius in a brief exchange between a match, but we still had no idea exactly what it was. His first fight really comes in the face of Yami, where he displays that he actually has light magic and can move at light speed. Even though Yami himself also later in that same fight said that he moved even faster. So just his first introduction, we know that he can move at light speed and he's faster than light speed. Since he can move at faster than light speeds, we do know, of course, that also comes in handy where later on after that fight he gains even more power and he goes and faces off against Julius. Now, Julius was holding back the entire fight, but it doesn't really matter considering we do know that Patri became, at the very least, he became a little bit stronger than he was before, considering though he struggled and actually lost to Yami, he was able to push the Wizard King so far to the point that he literally used a country range spell to attack every single citizen in the Clover Kingdom all at once. So putting him at least at that country level of power, at least when he's going full out. Now, Mereoleona is I'm going to use her as really just a power scaling device because she faced off against Third Eye Riot. Now, the Eye of Midnight Sun has lit Patri as its leader, and of course it has the Third Eye, which are blatantly said to be stronger than him. And Mereoleona already was able to defeat Third Eye Riot with relative ease. In fact, she didn't even have to put much effort into it. And remember, he is stronger than even the Patri that fought against Julius. Later on, like I said, he gets even stronger when he becomes fully reincarnated into his elf form, and Mereoleona was still putting up a good fight against him and even was able to stand her own against 5 elves. One of those elves being Captain Real, like I said, Captain Real, who gained the significant boost of being reincarnated as an elf. And she was still able to face off against all 5 of them. Granted, she did lose, but she still damaged all of them enough to the point that they could have lost if they all had to face her one-on-one. That brings into Fuegoleon and Nozel. Now, the reason why I bring these up is because those two are actually considered to be rivals to her. And with those two being considered a rival to him, such as basically Fuegoleon was stated to be at least a rival to him. In fact, they did actually fight, and that led to them being considered rivals to one another, that each one of them kind of considers one another stronger than the other. And Fuegoleon also considers Nozel to be his rival, same way, vice versa. So all 3 of them within the same range. So if Mereoleona, I personally think, is a little bit stronger, but that doesn't really matter because that means they're still within the same ballpark range, putting them at that country level plus, thanks to Mereoleona being able to body the Third Eye Riot, who would be stronger than Patri. Now, the same Patri, who, like I said, at his full power before was country level, ends up getting even stronger when he is captured by the devil and forced to or rather transform into his full rage and turns into Dark Elf Patri. Now, Dark Elf Patri, as stated by Asta, when he faces him in his black form, by the way, he states blatantly that he's gotten way stronger. So basically put him at country level and then give him this big amp that, as Asta put it, he's gotten way stronger. That definitely put him at this country level. Plus, like I said, making him exponentially more powerful is pretty ridiculous. The growth rate in Black Clover. But this same Patri that is, like I said, was stronger than his current stuff that was country level, still gets easily bodied by a Nozel who, not really with prep time, but by using careful preparation throughout the battle, created this giant spear known as the Silver Star of Execution, which basically trapped Patri in it, and basically had all of his attacks repelled back at him and blocked easily, and he actually managed to defeat him just by using this one technique. And he didn't even seem like he was tired after the fight. Now, one thing that I do have to say that does, like, throughout this versus battle, that is kind of, is the durability. Because Nozel's durability is not that great. And the reason what I mean by that is, when in his fight against one of the elves, who, yes, the elf in possession of one of the Golden Dawn members' body was, in fact, messing with his magic to the point he couldn't really utilize it and focus it properly, you know what I'm saying, it did affect him, so he couldn't really put up his defense that well. But even still, he literally, I mean, he got stabbed in the arm and he got stabbed in the back, stabbed from behind in three different places, and he was pretty much out. It actually, not really out, I mean, Zora did come in later and actually basically just talk shit to him. It was like, you know what I'm saying, you're supposed to be some big shot noble and you're all on the ground needing to be protected by me, a peasant, and he manages to get back up to help assist Noel in defeating the elf. But it's still the fact that he got put down so bad. While Byakuya, on the other hand, in his fight with Ichigo alone, said he went on ahead, and when he fought Ichigo, got beat up a little bit by Ichigo, then his hollow form came out and hit him with a Getsuga Tensho, you know, a black Getsuga Tensho that is much stronger than a regular Getsuga Tensho, gets cut up a few times by that, and then, and even while weakened, gets cut one last time by Ichigo in their final encounter. He still comes into town to rescue Rukia from Gin's blade, who then stabs him basically almost in the heart itself, and he didn't really collapse until they made their escape. Now, so that's a lot, just kind of shows a lot more. While another thing that I want to kind of get off my mind, a lot of people like to say, and even me at the beginning of the video, I said that, you know, Ichigo moves with lightning speed, even though I said he moves faster than that. That's blatantly true, because the guidebooks are not always correct. They just kind of, a lot of authors usually kind of half-ass. And proof of that being is the Quincy's. Most namely, I can just use Uryu. They use light-based projectile. The Quincy arrows that they make out of reishi come in the form of light-based projectiles, making them, like I said, into that light speed range of power. And like I said, if you want to make the argument that literally Byakuya isn't much stronger than beginning of the series Uryu, then you got some problems to make up. Now, that would definitely put someone like Byakuya, who in base would be stronger than Uryu at the beginning, that would put him massively faster than light as well, or adding that FTL feat, while the same thing is applied to Nozel. Now, because like I said, using Patri as a base, who was the first introduction to light speed, you know what I'm saying, it was definitely blatantly stated to be at light speed by Yami, and of course Patri also got faster, and of course he got much stronger, making him much faster as well in the process, and Nozel was still able to react and defeat this person without even getting really hit by him. So without a shadow of doubt, both of those characters move at that faster than light ranges. So if they're both relative to each other in speed, and Byakuya gets the edge in durability, then that would come down to, okay, well, which one of them could actually damage the other one more often? And of course, you know what I'm saying, I have to talk about that, because a lot of people like to downplay these characters as well. While Ukiura is the best one to bring it up. Now, Ukiura, in his second release, basically, the spears that he threw at Ichigo are already stated and well, not really stated, sorry, but calculated to be strong enough to be at that country low. Now, a lot of people like disagree, but when you really do the calculation for it, it literally puts them at that level of Ukiyo could literally destroy countries, or sorry, states like California, which would definitely be country size in other countries if you do it by size. This same Byakuya, even though he did not fight Ukiyo, he did fight Yami, who was stated to be stronger. Now, Yami would definitely lose in a one-on-one fight to Ukiyo just because, I mean, he's really dumb and slow. But they both have a second release form, and Yami is blatantly said to be even stronger, meaning that at the very least, his destructive capabilities would still surpass even Ukiyo, meaning that he would still be, both of them put Byakuya, even, you know what I'm saying, even if you want to try and lowball it, it would still put them at that country level, country plus levels of destructive. Alright, so with all this information being presented, I'm pretty sure you guys are probably thinking to yourselves, well, who does he really get the win to? And in all honesty, I was literally going back and forth, doing research, reading over the mangas for both of them, and honestly trying to figure out which one of them could I really get the win to. I mean, you're talking about two characters that are so similar to one another in both character development and in their power base that is unreal. Both of them are in those high tier country plus levels at this point in the game, and on top of which, both of them are definitely in that faster. Both of them are definitely faster than light. Definitely that massively faster than light. Doing the proper scaling. With both of them having unique characteristics. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, like I said, when you just keep going back and forth on it, like, I really could not come up with an answer like immediately. It's not one of those, oh, well, it's easy, he destroyed. But in the end, you have to give it to Byakuya. Now, I know, trust me, like I said, this is not biased. You know what I'm saying? Bleach and Black Clover are definitely, like, they're even. There was literally in my top 10, and Bleach and Black Clover are definitely my second favorite anime of all time. They're tied with one another, but I just have to give it to Byakuya only for one simple reason. Because they're so close, even if you wanted to say that Nozel was faster or a little bit faster or a little bit strong, it does not. It's not going to make that big of a difference. Mainly because Byakuya, just from a very young age, Byakuya was already idolizing people such as Yoruichi. And so he managed to learn, you know what I'm saying, some of the basic techniques that Yoruichi uses, such as, you know what I'm saying, such as her quick techniques like Shunpo and all the other stuff. Or not Shunpo, sorry, I apologize. But some of her basic techniques, which we seen him use when he faced off against the Espada rank number 7. I can never say names. Zomamara is what I always want to call him. So, point being, when he faced off against, he basically was able to use like this Naruto-esque substitution. Not to mention, said someone that's said to be the fastest amongst them. Like I said, he also was able to literally had to cut off his own the muscles and tendons in his legs and hands, and was still faster than someone that was stated to be have the fastest Sonito. Now that fast Sonito is of course in base to base, because Ukiyo would definitely be faster. But the point still stands that even with only one leg, he was still able to surpass him. And he also has a lot more techniques, such as all the different such as the hollow forms, the ketos and all that stuff. Plus the fact, like I said, he has Yoruichi's tech training as well. Now, I don't want any Black Clover fans getting upset, because like I said, it was not easy because they were so neck and neck throughout the entire fight. The only reason why Byakuya gets the win is simply because Nozel is not as versatile. Yes, his Mercury magic is in fact wonderful in the way how it operates in the world of Black Clover, in the sense that it does offense and defense, but so does Byakuya's Zenbon Zakura Kageyoshi. So it's not like Nozel had really anything that Byakuya doesn't. It's just a simple fact. When you add in the fact that Nozel, for example, can only use his Mercury, it's not like he himself gets extremely fast. So Byakuya gets past the Mercury and decides to fight, you know what I'm saying, in that way, like close quarters. He's going to lose because he's not, it's just his magic that's fast, not necessarily he himself. He just lacks all of the versatility that Byakuya has with his ketos and various techniques that he learned from Yoruichi. That's the only reason why he gets the win here. So that is the end of the video. Like I said, I hope I did both characters justice. Like I said, they're both extremely powerful, and without a shadow of a doubt, like I said, as you know what I'm saying, Nozel will definitely continue to grow. And like I said, and later on when Black Clover gets even further, because right now they're in a time skip, and about to face off against Spade Kingdom. As it progresses, I would definitely come back to these and do another one with Byakuya from the Fullbringer War Arc versus the current Nozel, and so on and so forth. But I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I want to keep doing more Black Clover videos, without a shadow of a doubt, because I have been reading it since the beginning. I'm not gonna lie, you know, I think it's really good, and I definitely would even put it above a lot of other anime. Like I said, it's literally my second favorite, tied with Bleach, but still below Attack on Titan. But regardless of the situation, like I said, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see another Bleach versus Black Clover video, by all means, hit the like button and subscribe. And comment if you have anything else you guys want to say, good or bad. Let me know. Peace.